Hello, this is Japanese Economic Review Channel. We've got something really interesting for you today. We're going to unpack the brand new 2025 Individual Enterprise Economy Survey. Now, this report gives us an incredible look at the small businesses that really are the backbone of Japan's local economies. So let's get right into it.
So the survey covers a huge number of businesses. We're talking 1.7 million individual enterprises all across the country. And these aren't your big, faceless corporations. Nope. These are the family-run shops, the local contractors, the service providers you see in your neighborhood every single day. They're a massive part of the economic landscape. And this new data, well, it tells a really fascinating, two-sided story about how they're doing.
And let's start with the good news, because on the surface, when you just look at the financial performance from 2024, things are looking pretty solid. These small businesses seem to be quite healthy, showing some really good growth in key areas. First up, let's talk sales. The average annual sales for each of these businesses went up by 1.6%. That's a steady, positive sign that tells us, hey, demand is strong, people are buying.
But here's where it gets even better. Operating profits? They grew even faster, jumping 2.4%. And that's great. It means businesses aren't just selling more, they're also getting more efficient. But the real question is, where is all this growth actually coming from?
Now, this is where things get really interesting. If you look at the breakdown by industry, the service sector is just blowing everyone else away. I mean, look at that. Accommodation and food services saw a massive 13.8% surge in profits, and wholesale and retail is also doing great at nearly 6%. But on the flip side, some sectors are really struggling, especially food and beverage manufacturing, which saw a pretty sharp decline.
And it's not just about what industry you're in, it's also about where you are. The economic strength is really different depending on the region. Aichi Prefecture, for example, is a real powerhouse right now. It's the top performer, with average annual sales over 16.8 million yen. That's pretty impressive.
Okay, so sales are rising, profits are growing, and we've got these strong regional hubs. So on the surface, everything seems great, right? Well, not exactly. Because this survey uncovers a deep structural problem that has absolutely nothing to do with money.
You see, when we stop looking at the spreadsheets and start looking at the business owners themselves, a totally different and, frankly, a pretty worrying picture starts to form. And this is the real story of this survey.
Just take a look at this. It's incredible. 46%, almost half, of all individual business owners in Japan are now over the age of 70. And if you add in the 60 to 69 group, that's another 23%. Do the math. That means nearly 70% of these business owners are over 60 years old.
And if you think that's a big number, this aging trend gets even more extreme in certain areas. In places like Iwate and Ishikawa, the number of owners over 70 years old climbs past a staggering 55%. We're talking about a whole generation of entrepreneurs who are way past the typical retirement age.
This isn't just some small detail in the report. It's the main challenge the data is pointing to. The financial health of these businesses is literally resting on the shoulders of an aging generation. So, the big question is, what happens next?
And here it is. This number is really the heart of the problem. A massive 82.3% of all these businesses report having no successor. No one is lined up to take over. And what's worse, this figure has been slowly creeping up year after year.
Now you'd think, right, that the business owners who are already in their 70s would be the ones who have a plan locked down. But look at this. Even in that oldest group, nearly 3/4 of them, 74.1%, still have nobody to pass the business on to. The succession gap is just huge, even for those who are right on the edge of retirement.
And if we drill down a little deeper, you can see this crisis is hitting some sectors especially hard. For owners over 70, more than 83% in lifestyle and entertainment services have no successor. And crucially, even in foundational sectors like manufacturing and wholesale/retail, about 80% of these aging owners have no one to take the reins.
So, what this survey really shows us is a paradox. We have businesses that are financially healthy right now, but they're facing a completely uncertain future. The skills, the community connections, all the economic activity they generate, it's all at risk of just disappearing. So the data forces us to ask a really critical question for Japan's future. As this incredibly dedicated generation of owners finally retires, who is going to keep these 1.7 million businesses alive? Thank you for watching the Japanese Economic Review. We look forward to having you with us again.